Hello everyone. Welcome to Step into History. Today, you are in Angkor, one of the greatest civilizations ever built. If you enjoyed this journey, like the video, subscribe to Step into History, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one.
When French explorers found this place in 1860, they looked at the temples, looked at the people living nearby, and said, "There is no way you built this." They said, "It must have been Rome or Greece or some lost civilization." Anyone but the Cambodians actually standing in front of them. It took decades for the West to accept what should have been obvious. The Khmer Empire didn't need Europe's help. They built a city of 1 million people, a hydraulic system more advanced than anything in medieval Europe, and the largest religious monument on Earth, all while London was still a muddy town of 50,000. This is Angkor. The year is 1150 AD, the largest city on the face of the Earth, and most of the world doesn't even know it exists. London has 50,000 people. Paris, maybe 100,000. Angkor has 1 million. It has a water system more advanced than anything in medieval Europe, and at its center sits the largest religious monument ever constructed. A temple so massive that when Europeans stumble across it 700 years from now, they will refuse to believe the people living here built it. They were wrong, obviously. But what was it actually like to spend a single day here? Not as a god-king on a golden throne, but as an ordinary person navigating the greatest city on the planet. Using AI trained on archaeological evidence and historical records, we've reconstructed what 24 hours in ancient Angkor actually looked like. Not just the temples, not just the stone faces and the jungle ruins. We're talking about the real Angkor, the rice breakfasts, the women-run markets, the war elephants and fermented fish paste. From dawn to midnight, this is what life was actually like in ancient Angkor. Let's step back 876 years. Dawn. You share this single room with your parents, your grandmother, and 2 younger siblings. Privacy isn't really a concept here. Family is the architecture of life. Your house sits on stilts. Practical wisdom. The rainy season floods hit hard, and the space underneath is where your family keeps tools, drying herbs, and chickens. Stone is for the gods. Wood is for people. You wash your face from a clay jar filled with clean, cool water, drawn yesterday from one of the city's canal channels. And this is where Angkor starts to feel impossible. The engineers of the Khmer Empire built a hydraulic network unlike anything in the ancient world. Enormous reservoirs called barais. The largest one stretches 5 miles long and 1.5 miles wide, feeding into a labyrinth of canals flowing through every district. This water irrigates rice fields year-round, allowing 3, sometimes 4 harvests per year. While the rest of the world farms once a season, Angkor farms constantly. That's the secret behind a 1 million-person city in the middle of the jungle. Breakfast is rice. It's always rice. Steamed in a clay pot with dried fish, a handful of vegetables, maybe a smear of fermented shrimp paste called prahok. Funky, salty, deeply savory. It's simple, it's filling, and it's the same thing your great-grandparents ate. If you're wealthy, a palace official, a temple administrator, you might have fruits from your courtyard garden. Bananas, papayas, mangoes. Your wife might wear silk. Your children might have tutors. But in the ordinary neighborhoods of Angkor, life is humble, communal, and ruled by rhythm. You pull on your sampot, a long cloth wrapped around the waist and tucked between the legs, and step outside. The air is already warm, and those 5 towers of Angkor Wat are catching the first orange rays of sunrise, reflected perfectly in the moat. You see this every morning. It never gets old. Morning. By the time the sun clears the tree line, the city is fully alive. And the first place everyone goes is the market. Here's something that surprises every foreign visitor. The markets are run almost entirely by women.
Hello again. If you've made it this far, subscribing to my channel Step into History really helps me. Now, let's continue where we left off.
Chinese diplomat Zhou Daguan, who will visit a city much like this one about 150 years from now, writes home about it with barely contained amazement. Khmer women hold remarkable economic power for this era. They run the stalls, they negotiate prices, they control household finances. A Chinese merchant who wants to set up trade here will typically marry a local Khmer woman, not just for companionship, but because without her, he has no idea how business works. What can you buy? More than you'd expect. Angkor sits at the crossroads of trade routes connecting China, India, and the Cham kingdoms of Vietnam. Chinese porcelain arrives by river. Indian cloth comes over land. Piles of black pepper, cardamom, turmeric, bolts of silk, carved ivory. In return, Angkor exports massive quantities of rice, plus forest products like resin, beeswax, and rhinoceros horn that Chinese physicians prize beyond gold. There are no coins here. Trade is done in cloth, rice, and weighed silver. A laborer earns maybe a liter of rice per day. A skilled stone carver working on the temples might earn 2 or 3 times that, plus oil and cloth from the temple administration. Mid-morning. Let's say you're one of those stone carvers. You walk toward the temple district, and this is where the scale of Angkor becomes undeniable. Angkor Wat was completed just a few years ago after more than 30 years of construction. But building never truly stops. New temples are being planned, old ones expanded. Tens of thousands of workers, skilled artisans, laborers, and war captives work in a permanent state of construction. The sandstone came from Phnom Kulen, a mountain 25 miles north. Over 5 million tons of it, carried by raft down a specially dug canal, moved on wooden sledges with woven ropes. No iron tools, no wheeled carts, just wood, rope, water, and staggering organization. The result rivals the Great Pyramid of Giza. Your job today, carving apsaras, those dancing celestial figures that cover every temple wall. You work from memory and tradition, trained since childhood in proportions passed down through generations. There are over 1,700 apsara carvings in Angkor Wat alone. No 2 are exactly alike. Each one has unique jewelry, a unique hairstyle, a unique expression. This isn't decoration. Each one is a prayer made permanent in stone, and the level of detail is staggering. Individual beads on a necklace, the texture of fabric, fingers bent at precise ritual angles. European cathedrals won't match this kind of sculptural density for another 3 centuries. Midday. The heat is serious now. You retreat to the shade with a cup of palm wine, mildly fermented, mildly sweet, and eat your midday rice. While you're sitting in the shade, the god king, Suryavarman II, is somewhere inside his palace compound. The palace is built of wood. Even here, stone belongs to the gods. But what wood? Gilded teak pillars, roofs of fired clay and gold leaf, gardens of lotus and jasmine. When the king appears in public, which is rare, he's carried on a golden palanquin, preceded by servants scattering flower petals, surrounded by musicians and soldiers and women holding golden lotus flowers. He's not just a ruler, he's a Devaraja, a god king, an earthly incarnation of Vishnu. To see him is a religious experience. To touch him would be unthinkable. Society here is stratified with crystalline clarity. King and royal family at the top, then the Brahmin priests, then military nobility, then merchants, artisans, farmers, and at the bottom, slaves. Angkor Wat alone is supported by nearly 18,000 people. Priests, dancers, musicians, cooks, guards, and temple servants. Many are temple slaves, called slaves of the gods. They belong to the temple for life. But temple life isn't all servitude. The Apsara dancers, women trained from childhood in sacred dance, hold immense cultural prestige. Their performances during festivals are considered offerings to the gods themselves. To be chosen as a temple dancer is an honor families spend generations pursuing. And then there's the question nobody in Angkor argues about: religion. The official faith under Suryavarman II is Vaishnavism, devotion to the Hindu god Vishnu. Angkor Wat's 5 towers represent Mount Meru, the cosmic mountain at the center of Hindu cosmology. But Buddhism is quietly spreading through the lower classes. Itinerant monks carry begging bowls through the market streets. Within 2 generations, the entire empire will pivot to Buddhism. But today, Vishnu reigns. Afternoon. The Khmer military is everywhere in this city. Suryavarman II built his empire through conquest, crushing the Cham kingdom to the east, pushing into the Malay Peninsula, fighting the pagan empire of Burma. Every battle is carved in stone on the walls of Angkor Wat, the most detailed military bas-relief created before the Renaissance. And the Khmer army has a secret weapon no European or Middle Eastern army possesses: war elephants. Hundreds of them, trained from birth. Each one carries a commander and a full crew of archers in a wooden tower strapped to its back. When a Khmer army appears on the horizon, thousands of infantry, hundreds of cavalry, and a line of elephants extending as far as the eye can see, most enemies have already lost before the fighting starts. But not all power flows through the sword. That hydraulic system you washed your face with this morning, it's also a transport network. Boats move goods from the Tonle Sap, the Great Lake just to the south, connecting Angkor to the Mekong River and through it to all of Southeast Asia. Khmer engineers understand monsoon water in ways that would impress a modern hydrologist. One bad monsoon elsewhere means famine. In Angkor, one bad monsoon means a slightly smaller harvest. This resilience is the foundation of everything. Evening. The market stalls close. Temple drums sound the evening sequence, and every family in the city turns to the most important ritual of the day, the evening meal. Rice always the center. Around it, freshwater fish from the Tonle Sap, the richest freshwater fishery in the world. The lake so thick with fish, you can almost reach in and grab them. Prahak for that deep umami backbone. Palm sugar sweetens desserts. Galangal and lemongrass scent the soups. Fresh lime, fresh herbs, mint, basil, coriander. A meal in ancient Angkor would not feel alien to someone eating in Phnom Penh today. Some flavors are eternal. Night. Darkness falls differently when there's no electricity. The temples glow. Hundreds of oil lamps and torch braziers illuminate the galleries. Temple priests work around the clock. Ceremonies at midnight. Prayers before dawn. The religious life of Angkor never sleeps. For ordinary people, evenings are simpler. Storytelling, dice games, shadow puppetry, where cut leather figures act out scenes from the Ramayana by torchlight. Conversations with neighbors on raised platforms. Watching fireflies drift over the paddies, while children chase each other in the dark below. Is the city safe at night? Mostly. Royal guards patrol the main roads. The tight-knit neighborhoods mean strangers are noticed fast. But the outskirts are a different story. Wild elephants, tigers. The jungle here is not metaphor. It's immediate and alive. You climb back up to your sleeping platform. The temple bells mark the late hour. 1,000,000 souls settling into sleep. From palace officials on silken beds to temple slaves on bare wooden floors, all breathing the same warm, jasmine-scented air. And as you close your eyes, one thought surfaces before sleep takes you. Tomorrow, the sun will rise again over Angkor Wat. The towers will glow gold. The water will flow. The city will be exactly as it always has been, or so it seems. So that was 24 hours in ancient Angkor. Not the crumbling jungle ruins, not the tourist photos, the real Angkor. Rice for breakfast, women running the economy, stone carvers making prayers permanent, and a hydraulic system so advanced it fed 1,000,000 people from the jungle floor. Angkor endured for nearly 600 years. In 1431, it fell to the Ayutthaya Kingdom of Thailand. The court relocated south. The canals silted up without the tens of thousands of laborers to maintain them. The rice fields went fallow, and the jungle, patient, unstoppable, crept back in. When European explorers stumbled upon Angkor Wat in the 19th century, they refused to believe the ancestors of the people living there had built it. Too large, too perfect, too impossible. They were wrong, of course. It was built by humans, brilliant, organized, deeply human people who looked at the sky and decided they would build something that touched it. Today, Angkor Wat appears on the Cambodian flag, the only building in the world to hold that distinction. The stone faces still watch, unmoved, unhurried, exactly as they have always been. Thank you for joining Step into History. For a brief moment, you stepped into a world that once was a city of salt, pitch, and iron-willed people who helped shape the world we live in today. These stories are more than just the past. They are echoes of how we lived, how we struggled, and how we finally broke our chains. If you want to keep exploring lost civilizations and the turning points of time, subscribe and join the journey. Where should we travel next? Until we meet again in the depths of history.